to PKJ Global Ministry. Come on into the room. While you're coming in, go ahead and share, tag, and invite because we're in a state of celebration. Today is June the 19th, and it's June 19th where we celebrate our freedom. So I want to start it off by reading a letter from President Barack Obama. So he said on this day in 1865, that was more than 2 years after President Lincoln, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And then 2 months after the end of the Civil War, the slaves of Galveston, Texas, they finally received the word. See, it's something about receiving that word that they were free at last. So we don't have to look far to see that racism, bigotry, hatred, and intolerance are still all too alive in our world in 2020. Just as the slaves of Galveston knew that emancipation was only the first step toward true freedom, just as those who crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma knew their march was far from finished, are the protesters of today in 2020. We continue to fight for Black lives because Black lives matter around the world. Our work remains far from done. So as long as people are being treated differently based on nothing more than the color of their skin, we cannot honestly say that the country, our country, the United States of America, that we are living up to the highest ideas. And that awareness isn't unpatriotic. It's patriotic to believe that we can make America better. We're stronger to be self-critical. We're strong enough to look upon our imperfections and strive together to make this country we love more perfect. Juneteenth has never been a celebration of victory or an acceptance of the way things are. Instead, it's a celebration of progress. It's an affirmation that despite the most painful parts of our history, change is possible. So no matter our color, our creed, no matter where we come from or who we love, today is a day to find joy in the face of sorrow and to hold the ones we love just a little closer. And tomorrow is a day that we're going to keep on marching. So God had put in my heart, in my spirit on this day, on Friday night, Food for the Soul, that we're going to have crucial conversation. And I think it still tie into the celebration of Juneteenth because we have to keep marching forward. In order to march forward, there must be some crucial conversation. And we need to learn to look. And then also, the silence, the violence, and the joy. So you asked me what is crucial. It's decisive or critical, especially in the success of failure of something, or it's of great importance. So when we're talking about Juneteenth and we're talking about moving forward, that is crucial. It is of a great importance to us. And there's a conversation. That means it's an informal exchange of ideas spoken in words. Words have power. So there's two things that we need to look for that as we go into this conversation, we need to learn to look for signs of when a conversation is about to turn crucial. Crucial, that means that is something that we need. Going to be strong emotion, opinions going to vary. So it's crucial to the outcome of what we're trying to achieve, whether it's our goal. So we're going to look for signs for when a conversation should not be pursued at that time. So we have to be very cognizant and aware of our surrounding, aware of the action or the inaction, the gestures of what being said. So when you're looking for signs of a conversation is needed, it includes silence, avoiding of issues, withdrawing from the conversation, lack of participation, that attacking behavior, control issues, physical distraction, and emotional outbursts. See, these are some signs that when the conversation shouldn't be pursued, because we want to make sure that when we're at the table, that our voice is being heard. We also need to look for signs that crucial conversations should be delayed. Because if emotions are out and then it's all this adverse behavior, then it shuts down the conversation. So we may need to delay that conversation, the value what's coming out of your mouth. So timing is everything. But I want you to know tonight that now is the time. In Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, it says that there's a time and a season for all things. We have to know that not everyone is ready or going to agree to having a conversation right away. So they include that they hesitant, depression. You may see that they say no, they say that they're not ready. There's a sense of nervousness, jumpy. They are prone to violence and emotional outbursts. So that may not be the right time. So as we are on this battlefield and as we're continuing to march forward in progress, that we're progressing from what had happened on the June 19th to now, that we still need to move forward. We need to press forward. So some of the things you can find out by asking them gently. You know, I've been seeing all over social media just how, people are learning how to have that crucial conversation. And once they know the facts, once the emotion is taken out of it and they have that dialogue becomes powerful because they understand and they value who you are, because you're an intelligent being. So we want to know some of the things we require that we do something sleuthing or through other channels, that we're going to talk to our friends, our colleagues. So on this day that we're in celebration, and that we are proud of our heritage, and we're proud of not the fact of all the things and the challenges that we went through, but we are proud of our heritage. And we stand up and we declare that in America and all over the world, we're going to have this crucial conversation, and we're going to be observant. We're going to look and see whether they have gone silent. We're going to look and be observant of the violence and see who is really causing some of the violence that's taking place. So what happened if you ignore these signs and you do try to go ahead and pursue these conversations? Make sure you stay away from any words and phrases that start with I. About the only one that may be okay is if you're going to say, I'm sorry. Even then, there are likely better ways of saying that you are sorry. Find a mutual purpose. As we progress through crucial conversation, as we're in this celebration, as we're saying that we want America to progress and to move forward, we got to find a mutual purpose and an approach for the conversation. And we want to be invited to the table. It's time for us to be invited to the table. But once we're invited, we need to understand that it is crucial, it is vital that you know how to have that crucial conversation so that your voice can be heard. So we're all good starts to better communication. You have to probe to see if people are ready for the conversation. Think of the following before you pursue the conversation, because we see that when the climate may be all escalated, that they're not ready. But I wanted you to know here in America, during this time of all what's going on, whether it's a pandemic or this racial climate or the protests, and we have some peaceful protests going on, and it's going on in America and all across the world. It's a global conversation that's about to be held. So we recognize that this is the time that our voice can be heard. But I'm praying today that those that are at the table, they're coming to the table with the knowledge. They're coming to the table knowing how to handle those crucial conversations. So is it really the time to pounce on them? So we can gently, when you know who you are, whose you are, what that purpose that you're being there, you don't have to pounce on them. You can just ask them when it's a good time. If 2 o'clock is not good, let's say 4 o'clock. Or can we just go ahead and schedule for tomorrow? But we just need to let them know that now is the appointed time. And then you say, well, then we have to follow up, because we cannot let it go so long that when we're going to change the date. It's time now. It's time for your voice to be heard. It's time for you to know that you're vital, you're important to the kingdom. And so, but you have to be prepared. Where preparation meets opportunity, then there shall be manifestation. Then you ask the question, Sister Jane, well, how long is too long? When will you set the date? If you wait too long, we don't want to wait too long. Because sometimes when we see that everything is going on and it's in the forefront, it's on all the social media platform, it's on all of the television broadcasts, it's on the radio, in the newspaper, then we know that this is our appointed time. But we have to have people that are conditioned, people who are trained, people who knows how to handle those crucial conversations so that we can make an impact. See, we're looking to make an impact, not just to start something, but we want to continue that conversation because we're marching on. There's no stopping us. We're relentless, and relentless means that we're unstoppable. You know, I was thinking about some excerpts that came from a pastor friend of mine, Pastor Titus, and he's the pastor of the Victorious Christian Life Ministry. And so I want to give you 10 empowerment keys that affects your destiny. When I read these, I said they are so profound that this, I'm going to add it. I got permission to add this to Crucial Conversation. And he went from 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. He said, be not deceived. Evil communication will corrupt good behavior. So you got to make sure that what you're saying is being effective. You know, I always would tell my managers, my supervisor, my leaders, my children, that you can get your point across. And like, you know, with me, I told them, I said, one thing, you may not respect me as this African-American senior healthcare executive, but you're going to expect this position and this title, and that I would never raise my voice at you. I would never curse you. And I expect the same thing from you. It's whether you the CEO, the CFO, the owner, that I demand that respect. And saying we have to demand that respect, but then we have to carry ourselves in a respectful manner. So the first empowerment key, the company that you keep can determine the destiny you achieve. So you got to make sure you're looking at your surrounding. Number two, you cannot keep wrong company and achieve the right destiny. Your association interferes with your conviction. It influences action, consciously or unconsciously. So you have to look at the company that you're keeping. Do an analysis, evaluate your circle, because we want to make sure that what we're doing, that it's going to be portrayed with character, with integrity, and that when we stand up, it's going to bring a certain amount of credence, because we know that our circle, our company that we're keeping, that they are vital to the success, not only to the local, the region, the state, or the United States, but it could be vital to the whole world. It's a global change that we're looking for. So number three, the quality of your association determine the quality of the people you can access. Number four, the importance of quality association to destiny. It cannot be overly emphasized. You got to make sure that you examine your circle. And we see with Jesus, he had the masses that were following him. He had the 12 disciples that he selected himself. But then he had that inner circle. And they were only three. That was Peter, James, and John. So the importance of your quality association to destiny, it cannot be overly emphasized. Number five, association produces influence, positive or negative, which can affect our outcome in life. Number 6, many great destinies have been ruined because of wrong association. It is important to know that if you must be successful, you have to associate with the right people who can directly or indirectly assist in the fulfillment of your destiny. And also to bring you at that table, whereas you can be a voice of that crucial conversation. Number 7, companies determine mindset, and mindset affects destiny. The word of God declares that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you want to make sure that you have a renewed mind. And Romans 12:2 says, do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good, that acceptable, and that perfect will. And number 8, the way you think is influenced, whether you this is truth. This is fact here. The way you think is influenced by your association. You know, they say association can bring about assimilation. So you need to examine that. And then you have to even examine the people that you're in conversation with, because you can take on their spirit, or whether it may be a negative spirit. It could be a violent spirit. It could be that withdrawing spirit. It could be that bigotry spirit. So you got to be sure that you understand that the way you think is influenced by your association. Number 9, your association determines your thought patterns, which in turn affects your action, and eventually the outcome in your life. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So number 10, the people of your life affect the pursuit of your life. So you got to be surrounded by people that are speaking the language of the kingdom, people that are moving forward, people who are progressive, people who are positive, people who have done the self-evaluation, self-awareness, that they understand the process of crucial conversation and knowing what it means to have a seat at the table. So the people of your life, they can affect the pursuit of your life. So I just like to thank Pastor Titus for this prolific word that he posted, because I said, this is vital to what we need today. So right now, I want to give you 8 crucial conversation techniques that will aid in effective communication skills versus violence when you have a seat at the table. See, I'm believing that during this season that there's a seat at the table, but you need to know what I bring to the table. And you need to already be prepared, because where preparation meet opportunity, then there shall be manifestation. Are you ready for the manifestation? You can't just wait to get prepared. This is the season in which we are preparing ourselves. We're doing a self-evaluation, a self-analysis to see the areas which we need to grow, to learn, and maybe to change. So this is your opportunity today. So I want to give you 8 crucial conversation techniques. One technique is that you're priming. And what that means is one of the most important is priming. It's about educating them. Because a lot of times, if people don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, then you can't go no further with that conversation. So it is about educating them, prepping them, and getting them ready. If you not give them context for what is about to happen, guess what? It will fail. So the first crucial conversation technique is that priming, that educating, that equipping, that's prepping them as to why you're at the table, what you're bringing to the table. How can what you're saying make a difference? So then the next technique is asking. The word of God declares that you have not because you ask not, or you asking in a miss. So it's just like an interview. So you need to already come in with questions. open-ended, closed-ended. So you're not going to be asking these inflammatory questions. You got to ask for facts. And then when you're at the table, that you're going to not be arrogant, but you're going to be respectful so that you can gain the respect so they can hear what you're saying when you're having this crucial conversation, because it's power in your dialogue. And then paraphrasing. And then just make sure they know that you're listening. Because so sometimes you just have to repeat what they said. And so they understand they're listening, they're leaning in, because they want to know exactly what you said so I can know how to approach that situation. And they kind of go on with mirroring. And that's kind of like, paraphrasing, that we're going to retell the story. We're going to restate what you just said so that there is no discrepancy as to what was the meaning or the context of what you were talking about. Another one is listening. This is important, that you have the ability to listen. So you got to be slow to speak and quick to hear, quick to listen. You don't need to give conversation to everything. You can learn so much, because when you're listening, you're leaning in, and so much is being said without being said, that they're watching your mannerism, they're watching your gestures. So you want them to know that you're in tune to what's going on in the room. So the slightest little detail that may be missed can lead to conflict or lack of understanding. And then silence. There's power of silence. Yes, sometimes you just need to shut up. Have you ever been around someone that just talk, 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 talk? No, sometimes you just need to know when it's time to shut up. Let it sink in. Don't be quick to answer without you hearing everything. Well, it's their point or your point. Sometimes silence is really golden. And then empathy. If you don't know what is the point, people got to know you care. When we say who cares, they got to know that you're caring about what's going on. And this change that we're trying to personify, we need to know that you care about us, and we are determined that Black lives do matter. My life matter. Black lives matter. Yeah, all lives, but right now, we're standing in agreement and solidarity that Black lives matter. And on this Juneteenth, we're bringing in that joy. We see violence, but then we're found out that some of the violence are being perpetrated by those folks who are sit in to have us looking in a whole different manner. So we need to know when to be silent, when to have, and understand that we cannot just jump off and be violent with the loot and all. I don't go along with that. But I do go along with this peaceful protest, standing up and believing in who we are and having that crucial conversation, knowing our heritage. I believe that we need to relentlessly pursue that so that our children and our children's children will understand the importance of our legacy. So empathy, to know, yes, I care, but do you care? Are you empathetic? And then speaking equally. No one is better than the other. When you have the seat at the table, you have to come into the room knowing that my voice is equally valued like your voice. So in doing that, that's where it has to be a safe environment. That whoever's orchestrating that meeting, they need to have it safe, that we're all on the same plane, and that we're going to model the behavior. We're going to model that behavior, that your voice is important. I want you to know that what you have to say can change the whole trajectory of our future. So I want you to speak. I want you to understand that your voice is important, as long as you know how to handle and deal with those crucial conversations. And we need to always be observant. We need to be looking at to see when these things are about to occur. We need to see when there's maybe that silence and somebody's pulling back or is about to erupt in violence. See, you got to be observant, and being observant means you're educating yourself, you're equipping yourself to be prepared to sit at the table. So there are some types of crucial conversation. people, you need to be observant as to who you're talking to, who is in the room, who is at the table, because some are resistors, some are neutral, and some are engager. Because some are just going to resist everything that you say or do, and some don't even have an opinion. I mean, they just are there to do. And you know what the word of God said in Revelation? I much rather that you were hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, you make me sick and I'll spew you up out of my mouth. But the engager, they're listening. And then they're saying, if they don't agree, then they want to know and listen and see how we're going to engage, how we can come back with a change. Can we learn a process? What are we doing? So these crucial conversations are important. So you need to recognize, see, we're saying to look, and you're going to look and see, not just look, but you got to see. Then ask God to open the eyes of your understanding. Open my eyes that I may see and that they may see me. And so you're going to look and you're going to observe and you're going to see where that conversation has went over to silence, or now it is right on here with violence. But we want to end it with joy, because we know what it says. The joy of the Lord is our strength. And we're walking in joy today and celebrating Juneteenth. It's June 19th. So in summary, let's learn to look. When caught up in a crucial conversation, it's difficult to see what's going on and why. When a discussion starts to become stressful, we often end up doing the exact opposite of what worked. We turn to a less healthy component when we get under stress. And that's why it's important, it's vital for you to learn how to handle crucial conversation. But are you willing to change? A change is not a change until you change. And we're believing for change in 2020. Juneteenth has never been a celebration of victory or an acceptance of the way things are. So we got to really get that and seal that in our mindset. Instead, it's a celebration of progress. It's an affirmation that despite the most painful parts of our history, we need to realize that change is possible. But are you to change? You got to be the change that you want to see. And so what God have put in my heart and in my spirit for a celebration that from the 19th through the 21st. Then I will be doing a master class. And so God said, he said, okay, we're representing our Black lives and our Black business. So you can register. If you go ahead and register, go to www.patriciakjames.com. And if you register between that time frame, the registration is only $125. You will get this t-shirt that I have on. It's a Relentless Global Believers of Prayer. And not only that, you will get a free copy of my book, Relentless Believers of Prayer. It's a 90-day prayer guide to becoming fit by God's design. Again, if you do it between today and the 21st. And it's an awesome masterclass that I will be teaching, because what we need intercessors praying. And we're doing it for the kingdom. It's 6 weeks online. And you would, if you follow me on Facebook or you follow me on YouTube, you will see the different information that will be provided. And in this class, we're going to do teaching. We're going to do practical application. We're going to apply it, and then we're going to do it. So this is going to be an interactive master class, and it's going to be done for the kingdom. And also in this, that you have the opportunity to have a 15-minute one-on-one consultation with me. So just go ahead to www.patriciakjames.com, look on the services, and go ahead and register. Again, I'm Dr. Pat, and I am the founder of PK James Global Ministry. So from my heart to yours, you'll be empowered to prosper and have good success. Have good success, and let's make this the best day that we're moving forward, that we're not stagnated. We're moving forward. We're forgetting but we're not forgetting, but we are pressing, we're moving, we're reaching forward toward a mark, because there's a mark, there's a prize at the end. So let's keep this conversation going, but let us be educated